Hello, I'm Sophie. Welcome back to my channel, and welcome to another Project What writing vlog. Today, in this vlog, my goal is to finish putting all the finishing touches on to Project What so I can revise it really quick, give it a little read through, make sure I get all the typos, and then I can give it to people to read. So the goal is to actually finish the rest of the story because there's just little bits and pieces that I need to fix. If you watched my Camp NaNoWriMo video, you would know that I added a little bit of a different plot-ish thing towards the end of the book that I need to put in, and then all around just little tweaks, little line edits, I guess, to make scenes just better. So that is the goal of this video. I have also started book 2 of this series. Not writing it yet. There's no actual story yet, but I am working heavily on the world building for this story because it gets a lot deeper into the island they live on and the war that happened on Earth before them. It goes way deeper into all of it, so I need to know more about it, and I've been hustling on that. We'll chat about that a little later, of course, but right now my goal is to work on this story. Work on book 1, because I'm right there. I am so close to actually being done with this stupid book, and I just am not yet. So I don't know how long this vlog is going to be. Probably not crazy long, because if I do get down to it, it should only take a couple days to finish. I could be jinxing myself so hard right now, but I hope I'm not. I've got a couple more scenes I need to write from scratch, which is so much fun. I've got some reconfiguring to do of the scenes, as well as shuffling around the chapters a little bit. And then I've got some scenes from the previous draft that need to be tweaked a little more in the story to make them not suck. I am going to start writing those 2 scenes that I need. I have a general idea of what I want to happen in the scenes. I try not to plot out scenes too much though, because then they get static, and that's not fun. So I'm just gonna write. I'm gonna see what I can get. Don't know how long they're going to be. I'm hoping they'll be on the longer side, just because plot-wise they should be longer, but we'll see. We'll see. I am a terrible underwriter, so we'll figure it out. But we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that right freaking now. Yeah. Sorry, that was a weird intro. Let's see, it's almost midnight. I have to be up in 5 hours, so we're gonna stop here. I finished 1 of 2 scenes that I needed to finish, I guess, or write. I need to start and finish. This one was the easy one. This is the one that I know is going to be shorter. I'm hoping the second one is maybe double the length of this one. This one is 1,000 words long though, which was my goal. I wanted it to be at least 1,000 words because I felt like that's what it needed. But I think the second scene's gonna be maybe double that, maybe 1,500. Fingers crossed I can figure out what exactly is going on there. Also, I'm gonna take these off because of the glare. Oops. I do like how this scene turned out though. It's very I'm trying to get eerie vibes. I don't know if I portrayed that, but the setting that they're visiting in this scene, it's way too quiet. It's way too where is everyone? So I hope I kind of portrayed that idea that usually this place is full of people. People are this is literally this is a whole community. This should be full of hundreds, thousands of people, and no one passes them as they're walking, and they're what is going on? This whole area is at a standstill. No one knows what's gonna happen. Everyone's just waiting, and my characters thought that they were gonna see some crazy stuff when they got to this place, because it's literally the center of attention right now in the news, and why is there nothing happening here? That's the first scene. The second scene is where we actually see the stuff happening, because people aren't waiting anymore. Now things are in full swing. Conflict is in full swing in this area, but in this first scene everything is calm, like too calm. And I think I did good. I like how I described it. I think that went well. I feel like I am not the best at description unless I sit down and like tell myself that it doesn't matter. Because like if I think too deep about it, like stress out about it, it sucks. It is so ugly. The prose is so gross. But if I just sit down and I'm like, no one's gonna read this one, who cares when people are gonna read it? But I can lie to myself. If I can tell myself like this doesn't matter, like you're gonna come back and you're gonna revise it, which I probably won't either, but that's okay. It's so much better. It's so much better. And I think that's what happened here, because like I was kind of stressing about this scene. I didn't know what I was gonna do, and I feel like it did kind of start out kind of rocky, but I like the descriptions and stuff that I did. And once again, I'm hoping it portrays the whole like eerily quiet setting vibe. I don't know though. But that scene is done. This is my outline for these two scenes. I was at a cafe earlier today and I didn't have my laptop on me, and I needed to outline these scenes so I could write them right now. So I did it on the back of my outline for the whole story. Anyways, rambling over. Good night. See you guys tomorrow for hopefully finishing that scene and putting everything in order and getting everything into the doc, so then I can edit it. Okay gang, don't mind the hair, it's up, I promise, it's back there. And we are here for day 2, night 2 I guess, because it is 9:30, but I am determined to finish this scene, start and finish this scene. Oops, oh, again, with the glasses, I gotta take these off. This is the last scene that I have to write from scratch. Everything else that I need to do before I can print it out is rewriting stuff that I've already written. And basically it's just like filling stuff in. And then, like I said yesterday, we do have to rearrange some stuff as well, and reconfigure the chapter, where the chapters start and end. Gotta fix that too. I'm literally like, I'm trying to convince myself that I'm one scene away from finishing this book, when I know I'm not, but it feels like that. And what's great is that it's not the last scene in the book. It's like at the end of Act 2 or something. So don't gotta worry about finishing the book off strong yet. I do have to edit the final scene, but it's the final scene, but not the end of the book. Yeah, I'm gonna see what I can do. Like I said last night, I'm hoping this chapter, I'm hoping this scene will be longer than the one I wrote yesterday, because that's it. That just feels right. That's how it should go. We're gonna do this. I've got my outline. It's right here. This second half of the page is the entire outline. I'm gonna have to figure something out because this isn't very detailed. Yeah, we'll figure it out. That's my job as the person writing the book. I'm gonna put these back on because I need to be able to see. Ooh, these are dirty. Jesus Christ. My glasses are never clean. I don't understand. Like, I clean them like 10 times a day and they still are so gross. Whatever, now they're clean. And now we can get writing. Yeah. Okay. Hi. We are sitting next to my bed, so don't look at that. But oh my god, it's here. It's here. This is it. This is the whole thing. I have this binder. I have a little binder that I'm gonna be reading it through it in. It's not terrible. Like this is basically all I'm going to be looking for. I'm not even going to be looking for plot changes because I already put the plot changes in. I don't know why that's there. That was for a different version. It's a half binder. It's for half pages. So these are going to be folded in half. And I also have this. this is going to be the cover for draft 3 once I can print it out as like a bound paperback book, I guess. But it had like a little card holder, and I was like, why not just put this in here for fun? I have this, and I also bought a hole punch for this so I don't have to try and line up the hole punches every time, because that would be awful. Also, it is like weirdly overcast right now. It's pretty solid, but like sometimes the sun peeks through, so I'm sorry if the light changes a little too much. Anyways, look how cute. She's so little. Anyways, let's chat. I have to fold these in half and then cut them down the seam so we can chat for a while. First and foremost, the last 2 scenes that I had to write they went much better than I expected them to. Not as long as I wanted them to be, but what's new with me, right? But I think the message that I was trying to deliver turned out good. Turned out better than I expected, almost. Maybe. I don't know if... Okay, let me start over. In the second scene that I wrote, I had an idea where the main characters would experience this event again that would remind them a lot of like what got them to this point. Like it's a traumatic experience, the first one, and now they're experiencing a similar thing again, and I wanted to show that like that's not good. That they're not enjoying that experience. I knew I wanted to do that. I didn't know how I was going to do that, but I think the way that I ended up writing it turned out pretty well. I don't know. I think it did. It was like 12:30 last night when I finished that. So once again, I could have just been like delusional or something. and it sucks, but I don't think it does. Anyways, that's for like both scenes. I think it worked out well. I'll have to see how they blend into the actual story, because I wrote them outside of the story, but that is for me to do with what I'm doing right now. So we're prepared. I also think that this story is like literally 10 times better than it was before. I think it's... Oh, here comes the sun again. Okay, it's gonna get brighter. Sorry. What was I saying? I feel like this book is so much more streamlined in its efforts, I guess. It's a lot more focused on the conflict and the world building, and I think it really helped me set up the rest of the trilogy really well, which we'll get into that. I know the title says finish it, like we're finishing this book and starting book 2. I'll get to that, don't even worry. I feel like the way that I fixed this draft really helped me set up book 2, which I guess we could talk about that. Why are we talking about that? I stepped back from Project What, book 1, to just because I was feeling like dragged down by the book a little bit with how much I still had left to change. So I stepped back. I was like, okay, we're gonna take a break. We're not gonna worry about it yet. And I did take a break, and instead of working on book 1 of this trilogy, I worked on book 2 because I knew I was gonna start writing it soon. Don't know when, don't get your hopes up, but I knew I wanted to start writing it in the near future, and I need to figure out how that book would work now that I had changed a lot of the conflict in book 1, because book 2 was supposed to be leaving this island that they live on, and now with how I set up the conflict, that would be stupid if they ended up just leaving, because there's so much like unfinished business that they have left to do, and it's like why would they leave? So I ended up trying to figure that out because it was bothering me. I was like, I need to figure out how this trilogy can work still, because I don't want to like just keep it a standalone and then never do anything with the rest of the story, which I think that was a part of my problem. I think last NaNoWriMo, like November NaNoWriMo, I think it was last NaNoWriMo, I tried to write book 2 and that did not work. I got like 2 chapters in and I was like, no, we're done. And I think that was the problem. It was like they were up and leaving the island, and it was like, you guys are literally like abandoning this home that you've been trying to protect for all of book 1. Like, what's going on? So I think I fixed it. I fixed that part. There's a lot that goes on in book 2. I'm trying my hardest to not hit that like book 2 slump syndrome thing. What is it called? Second book syndrome? I'm trying not to hit that. Like, I don't want it to drag. It needs to be fun. It needs to be engaging, you know? And I hope I'm getting there. There's a lot going on, I would say. There's a lot of, like, we learn a lot about the history of the world that they live in, and we learn more about the enemy that they're dealing with, which I'm very excited for because I didn't get to do that in this book. I feel like there's a lot more going on in book 2 than there was in book 1, which is probably not true, but it only feels like that because all of it's new stuff that I have to figure out. Speaking of which, I have a digital notebook for this project. All of it right now is trying to figure out lore lore and world building for this world and the people in it, because we're learning a lot about that in book 2. And while it is fun, it's a lot. I have to figure out the inner workings of a major group on the island and the history, vague history, no specifics really, of the nuclear war that got them to the island. So a lot of lore going on there. There's also stuff that I have to figure out about how the island operates like in modern day, because that's a major conflict of the story, because like the island's like shutting down. It's like she's losing her like gears and they need to figure out how to put the gears back, I guess. But it's just a lot of technical stuff right now, which I do enjoy. I do like doing that stuff from time to time, and I am really enjoying doing it for this book because I feel like I'm just learning more about my story as a whole, and I think that's so fun. But it is very technical stuff right now. It's like, here's how the war happened, here's how the island gets food to its people. Like, it's kind of boring when you say it out loud, but I'm having fun. And I'm like, I'm not trying to push anything out by a certain time. I'm just trying to go slow so I can fully realize this story without like rushing through anything, and hoping I can formulate the entire story at some point. And that's going nice. It's nice to not have a deadline for my silly little books. Once I do start outlining, I think it will be relatively simple to put an actual story together, just because I'll have all the information I need basically, and it's in a world that I already know. So that's what the start of book 2 is so far. What? Why is page 102 blank? Hold on. My poor iPad cannot load this entire document. That's another thing. Right now, without complete edits, this story is like 125,000 words. Who on earth authorized this? Okay, it's okay. It is blank in the document. Anyways, 125,000 words without complete edits. Huh? Excuse me? In all honesty, I was expecting it to be like 130,000 words, so I was somewhat accurate, but still, that's kind of a lot. I can't remember if that's shorter or longer than what draft 2 ended up being. Might be shorter. I think draft 2 was longer by like 20,000 words. But you know what? That's probably for the better. It's probably for the better if this one is shorter, because I feel like almost 150,000 words is not ideal. I feel like it's because I cut out all the unnecessary stuff, because there was a lot of unnecessary stuff in draft 2. So now it's just everything, even though I did cut out like what, 20,000 words from the overall story, now it feels more significant. Like the entire story, it feels bigger because there's more purpose to every scene. Like there's not just like some rando filler stuff. It's actually like a coherent story where everything contributes to the entire thing. At least that's what I'm telling myself. When I do this read through, I'll figure out if there's any more superfluous scenes, but I'm really hoping there's not, because that would be awesome if there wasn't. I think I've talked enough. Sorry if it was kind of rambly, but my brain doesn't like to work in a straight line, so it kind of just jumps around. Hopefully, like, literally any of that made sense. I'm gonna finish this, folding these and chopping them up and putting them in the binder, and then I will talk to you guys again. Yeah. Hi, it's been hours. Oops. But it's done. It's done. Look at that. She's in the little binder. Very exciting stuff, I know. Riveting. That is a terrible angle. We're just gonna hold it. All 354 pages in this bad boy. Look at this. Look at her. Oh my god. I did have times where I hole punched on the wrong side because I am a genius. So there's a couple patches where there's just holes on the wrong side. That's fine. Most of this I'm just reading through, making sure I typed everything up correctly, which I know I didn't. So I'm catching typos and everything. This isn't really a story revision moment because I don't want to do that again. And then there's some scenes like this one here that are highlighted in gray that are from draft 2 or draft 2.5 that need to be edited for draft 3. There are like maybe 4 or 5 of these in the entire manuscript that I need to figure out, but that will all be done in due time. Also, this right here up front, I'm gonna redo this because I'm not doing plot reworking right here. I really just need these 3, but I want to use all 5 colors. So I'm gonna redo this key, and this isn't gonna be here anymore. So say bye-bye to her, and the next step is actually reading this, and oh my god, that is going out to people to read. That's so scary. But anyways, she's almost ready. That's so draft 3 has been a long time coming, I'm gonna be honest. we literally had a half draft 2.5 in the middle, and it's so close. It's right here. I just need to make sure I get all the typos out and make sure it makes sense. Not too bad. But anyways, that is the end of this vlog. It was a little rambly, my bad. I also hope to have some content out soon about book 2. Not making promises, but I hope sometime in the near future we can do that. Anyways, on to the next step with Project What. I'll have a revision vlog. Maybe it's really just a read through and a slight rewrite. So I might not do a revision vlog, I'm not sure. But anyways, that is it. That is it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out. How are your stories going? I know school is getting back in session soon, or you're already back in school, so maybe things might be slowing down. I know my writing's gonna slow down too, but hopefully it's going well. Let me know in the comments, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace. Wow.